Last year, my Shopify store generated over $100,000 per month on average, all while I was working just 4 hours per week on it. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is not passive income or some side hustle thing. We are building real businesses and real brands. And these are assets that I've actually been able to exit from in the past, like on Yoga Stay and History Teas. That's why in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 5-step strategy that I use to build, automate, and scale brands like this, so that if your goal is to build a 7-figure Shopify store, you can hopefully do the same without having to burn out working 80-hour plus weeks. So the precursor to all this is focus. The focus on what is the end goal. The end goal is building a brand that is able to get to $1 million plus per year while requiring 4 hours or less of your time. With that in mind, we then reverse engineer from that point and say, what does it take in order to build a 7-figure brand with the simplest number of steps, the simplest systems, and the minimal amount of team members in order to sustain that? Now, the challenging part is that you don't really know what that looks like until you have this video, which is what these 5 steps are going to cover for us. And reverse engineering from that point starts with step number 1, which is building a brand and not a store. And this is where a lot of Shopify sellers get stuck. They just build a store and not an actual brand. When I launched Yoga Stay and History Teas, I wasn't just slapping designs up on t-shirts. I was building an identity or a feeling, like a connection with the customer. And while that sounds nice and, fluffy, the pragmatic reasoning for that is that the way to build a brand that is doing 7 figures and requires as little of your time as possible is to build a brand that is not constantly fighting for new customers, and that you build a relationship with people so that once you get a customer the first time, you have them for life because they love who you are as a brand. And just building a shop or a store, you're never going to be able to get that. That's why a lot of drop shippers and stuff, they immediately count themselves out of this equation. It's just not sustainable, because they are constantly having to acquire customers for the first time. And they are always fighting for new customers. And worse yet, they have to pivot when, their product burns out or, tariffs shoot up to 135%. That's a whole nother story. But when we're building a real brand, yes, we start with just products and we're testing the market to see what works. But our ultimate goal and what we're building towards is a brand that people have a relationship with. We're going to talk more about how to do that in just a second. So just a random Shopify store is like a tent in the middle of the desert. Yes, people might stumble into it, but are they going to be able to find their way back to you? Absolutely not. Opposed to, on the other side, a brand is like a home that has an address, meaning that people know where you are and they know how to get back to you, and they want to come back to you because they had a good experience with you. So the steps to take in order to build a brand opposed to a store doesn't have to be complex. Just simply start with a target market in mind and choose a business model that lends itself to building a brand around it. And in my experience from doing 3PL, which is ordering your own products from overseas, drop shipping, and print on demand is by far the best. And the reason for that is that you are able to quickly test and build a catalog of very unique products without any capital upfront. And you're able to actually customize things. Meanwhile, you don't have to worry about working with factories or anything like that. And so if you want to learn more about how we build real brands, you can click the link down below and get our free 31+ hour course, completely free, where we show literally step by step exactly how we do this process and how we build brands like Yoga Stay and History Teas to multiple 7 figures and ultimately sold them. Now, while building a brand is the end goal, it's important that we don't over-index on that and start trying to build this big, beautiful thing before we actually have sales coming in. So end goal versus next step are 2 very different things. And the next step, the most important one to get started with, is launching profitable products fast. And I was very slow at this in the beginning. I would take my good old time. I would browse product catalogs and I would, put them up on the site, and I would end up with a mishmash of a bunch of random products, no real rhyme or reason to why they were on the same store together, thinking that by taking all this extra careful time, I was doing right by my brand and that I was just really caring about the quality of the products. But in reality, I was just afraid of failure, and I didn't want to move fast because that meant that I had to get to the point of launching and most likely getting feedback from the market that I didn't really want to hear in the first place. Now I know that the best thing I can do is rip the Band-Aid off and launch as many products as quickly as possible. And the way that I will learn the best and the way that you will create the best products is through quantity. So quantity begets quality. And if you take anything away from this video, make it be that. Because if you can just commit to making 5 to 7 new designs or products per day, everything else is really secondary or tertiary to that. Because great products can be sold by bad marketing, but great marketing can't sell bad products. And so you can think of your product launching cadence like speed dating. You're not looking to get married on the first date. You're just looking for chemistry. And the fastest way to find chemistry is just high quantity and see what lights a spark for you. And now back to the 4 hour per week thing, the way that we're able to automate a lot of this process is two main things. Number one, you can hire and work with designers, which we personally use designers off of Upwork. Or two, you are able to use AI tools like Mystic POD, which is like Midjourney, but specifically for print-on-demand sellers, designing high-quality graphics and products specifically for t-shirts, apparel, wall art, any kind of product that you could possibly want to sell on your Shopify store. You're able to create it in Mystic POD with pretty much a couple clicks of a button. And if you're like, that's great, I get how we can automate it. I know I need a lot of products, but where do I get started with it? That's not the scope of this video. You can click the link down below to watch the full 31+ hour free course. But what I will say, 80-20 principle is start with t-shirts. The majority of the world owns them. And speaking of 80-20 principle, that brings us to step 3, which is the 80-20 principle traffic strategy. And like we said, most sellers just overcomplicate everything out of either fear or uncertainty. They think they have to do a little bit of everything. They have to do a little bit of TikTok, a little bit of Facebook ads. I certainly thought this way in the beginning, and it ended up being a self-fulfilling prophecy because I was afraid that what if my Facebook ads don't work, then I need to have some TikTok going. I need to hedge my bets. Use that phrase a lot internally, completely incorrectly. And in reality, you are way better off following the 1-1-1 rule, which is one product type, one audience, one traffic source. And traffic is a lot like water. You don't need 10 faucets in order to fill up a sink. You just need one with a steady flow. So your other main takeaway is that just picking one traffic source and getting really good at it up until you're doing at least $1 million per month is more than enough. And our entire traffic strategy now that allows us to work just 4 hours per week on the brand is Facebook ads, Google for just retargeting, low budget, and then email marketing. And that's it. In the past, I've run brands where I was spending 80+ hours a week. And that was always because I was doing a little bit of TikTok, a little bit of Facebook, a little bit of all over the place out of just lack of discipline, basically. And I wasn't launching enough products. And so the times in my career, ironically enough, that I was spending the most time and getting the least in return always came down to I was just doing a little bit of everything, opposed to now I have one, the experience, but two, that experience has allowed me to see what is now abundantly true, which is one traffic source with full focus is way less time and way more profitable than diversifying. And so once I knew how to drive one traffic source to the business where I was testing a high volume of products using either AI or working with the designer, my ads were nowadays Facebook algorithm. Once you have products that are working really well, yes, it takes a lot of time in the beginning to test a lot of different products, but over the past year, I spent a combined 20 hours in total on the ads compared to in the past, it would have been hundreds and hundreds of hours. But now the algorithms have gotten so good, not to say that it's easy, but it's very easy when you have really good products. Really good products makes the marketing easy. Bad products makes the marketing hard. So if Facebook ads feels really hard, I've been there. Anytime it's felt like that, it's because I just don't have good enough products yet. And that can be frustrating because you're I feel like I put a lot of effort into the products. Me too. It just takes getting better products. And once you have that and you have a machine that is constantly making those products for you and your ads are testing using the methods that we teach inside of the free course, then it's time to take yourself out of the equation, at least in specific areas. And that's why step 4 is automate and outsource ourselves. And the main areas that I recommend outsourcing first are customer service and product uploads and designing. So starting first with customer service, somebody who handles all your support tickets, Facebook messages, inboxes, refund requests, chargebacks, all of those ins and outs, have somebody who manages that for you. And the best way to do this is to create a custom GPT for your brand, which again, there's one of these for free in the free community that you can click the link down below to get. But this custom GPT, we show you how to set it up, and then you can have your customer service rep copy paste any emails they get from your customers and plug it into the GPT, and then it will respond for you using your brand voice. And then your customer service rep is able to literally just copy paste it back and forth. So a lot of us being able to work 4 hours a week now comes down to how we're leveraging AI within our business. And step 2 is your product or supply chain person on your team. And that person is responsible for all of your product uploads, managing the back end of your Shopify store, coordinating with the designer when new products are done, and basically taking products from design to ready to sell on your site. And then finally, the third step is your designer or product creator, depending on the product that you're selling. And this person is basically taking the ideas that you are feeding them, and your only remaining job at this point is to just be reading the analytics and then sending them new ideas, so that your day is basically spent looking at the analytics. So an average day is I log into Facebook, I check our catalog ad and see which products have been performing the best. And then I look at our Shopify analytics, see which products have been selling the best. Then I pull all those up on a spreadsheet, and then I look at what's been performing. And then based on that, I then plug all those designs into ChatGPT and ask it to come up with new design ideas for me. Then those ideas I hand off to the designer by giving them a simple Trello board. Then they create the designs. And then once they're done, they hand it off to our supply chain person. And then that person is putting them on mockups and uploading them to Shopify. And then they are ready to sell. And then they're getting pulled into our product catalog. And if you're wondering like where we find these people to hire, how we onboard them, how we manage them, what our check-ins look like, again, all of this is covered in the free 31-hour course that you can get just by clicking the link down below. And then step 5, now that we have a system built and things are looking pretty good, the key here is scaling our systems without adding more work. This was one that I'd love to mess up for years and years, because as soon as things would start going well, I would, for whatever reason, pivot and start adding a different traffic source, different product type, whatever, when everything we were doing was already working. So then the question that I've heard a million times from Hormozy at this point is, why can't you just do 10 times as much of what's already working? And normally there's no good answer. And we absolutely could do that, but I just simply wasn't. And now the way that we work 4 hours a week and generate over $100,000 in sales, which I haven't mentioned it yet, but the net profit margin is anywhere from 15 to 20-ish%, sometimes up to 25, but around $15,000 to $20,000 in net profit per month is what all this brings in. Probably buried the headline on that, but whatever. If you watch this far, you earned it. But yeah, it comes down to just, if something is working, like, don't fix it until it's broken. And this whole past year, our ads have been working well because I did a lot of testing in the beginning. We had great products that were consistently being added. All of our customer service was being handled and taken care of. So people are coming back and buying from us again and again because they were getting good quality products shipped fast, and they were unique that they couldn't find anywhere else because we're print on demand and we're using AI tools to create new stuff, and the whole system just works. And then been different about this past year opposed to years previous, we weren't overcomplicating things. That was working well. So all that I was doing was that one step that I described, pulling up, seeing what's working well, then sending it off to the designer to make more of it. And then the other piece is just running the financials. So like every day we spend about 5 minutes running a P&L, running a balance sheet, just making sure our dashboards, everything's good to go. And then finally, I just go into the ad account and check to see which campaigns have been performing well. If there's anything in there looking good, then I'll just simply increase the budget by 15 to 20%. So up until this past year, if somebody were to ask me, how do you scale higher? I would have said, work harder. And now the answer is build a system that can scale without me even being there. Because even if you do have aspiration, like you're willing to grind, you want to work 40, 60 hours a week, still building a system that's able to outsource you from the things that are outsourceable, meaning like customer service, product uploads, the design work, being able to remove yourself from that area of the business not only makes the business much easier to scale, but it ultimately helps you build a sellable asset, which if you're interested in seeing how we did that and how we sold 3 different brands, Yoga Stay, History Teas, and a whole portfolio of different brands, then watch this video over here where I break down the 7-step process that we followed in order to go from zero to acquisition in just a couple of years. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.